Mic'd up.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yankees Coast to Coast. You're not supposed to cut it. You should let me fade it out so it sounds good. Can we start it over, please?
We just started slow. No, we're not starting over. This is I'm done.
We have to
Goodbye.
learn how to do this right. There's a flow to the show. There's art to this, Mike. Can you try to help? Play along, man. All right. Anyway, this is I lost my place. Well, who am I? Adam. I'm Adam. Yes, and he's Mike. So nice to have you folks with us tonight, all 1.3 of you. We hope that you're enjoying the Trump tariffs and that life is going well for you. I am excited about only buying $2. I have been buying too many dolls for my kids all these years, especially my son.
They're not for your kids, and the material it's made out of is machine washable.
This is true. But I think that I should be able to buy as many dolls as I want. I don't like the president telling me that I need to buy less. God damn it. So
clearly he thinks everybody has $20. But some people don't have any. But that's
Didn't he marry one? Oh, who said that? You're gonna have to cut that later, okay? We don't.
He married a couple of them.
I may get primaried, so I don't want to say anything bad. Anyhow,
you're gonna get deported.
I'll get deported back. I'm going back to Poland. They're gonna send me back to Poland.
They're gonna send you. They'll send you back to California. Anyhow.
I like.
So here we are. Here we are, about 30 games into the season, or in the Yankees' case, 31.
We're talking baseball. That's what this.
31 games into the season, the Yankees are 18-13, which puts them on a pace to win 94 games, which is how many they won last year.
Yeah.
And the only teams with better records, and it's not by much right now, are the other two first-place teams, Detroit at 19-12, Yankees at 18-13, and then Seattle at 18-12.
May I say something, though?
No.
With even a modicum of decent performance from the 40% of their pitching staff, they would be so much better. Think about how good they would be if they had better, and if they had a closer who wasn't blowing saves. So you've got the front end and the back end.
Well, let's talk about something for a second. All right, before we get there, let's talk about the other teams. So there's five other teams that are above 500 that are not in first place: Cleveland, Houston, the Red Sox, and the Royals, and then West Sacramento A's. The A's are likely pretenders, even though they just took a series from the Rangers. Then you have the Rangers, who are at 500, but they're not hitting, and everybody believes that they will, and I can't see why they won't. The Blue Jays, who are not hitting and just took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. The Orioles, who have not been hitting and just took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. And the Orioles, are they in trouble? Are the Orioles in trouble, or are they off to a slow start? I think Hyde's going to be the first manager fired. And then you have the Rays, who always seem to have the magic beans, who are 14-17. So, right now, it's early, but the Yankees are on pace to win 94 games. Is that enough? Who the hell knows? And
I think that they're certainly in the running. You could see the Red Sox making a play, but I think that they are still just a little. I think the Red Sox are still an 85 or still a 90 wins team. If the Yankees Yankees can beat out 90 wins, they'll be fine. I don't. It sort of doesn't matter to me. I hate to say this, but I'm a jaded Yankee fan. I think they've got the league is so bad that they're going to be fine. They will find a way to get into the postseason. It's just it's so underwhelming. It's like to just be good enough to get in isn't enough. It would be nice if they would be able to push these National League teams a little bit, but I think they're off to an 18-13 start in a very weak league, and they should be doing better. They should be.
We talk about it being a weak league, and I do agree the National League is better, but you got to remember the National League has the Rockies, who've won 5 out of 30 games.
Oh my God, are they horrible?
Marlins, who stink. The Pirates, who stink. right?
I
So, and
mean,
in the
look at the
American League,
National League West.
of course,
Look at
yeah. And
the
if you look at the
West.
National West, they're beating up on the Rockies. And you got to
I
remember
know.
The Giants just played their first series against the National League West team, the Padres, and they lost the series. The Giants are
Mhm.
pretenders. So the Rockies are bad, the Pirates are bad, and the Marlins bad, and the Nationals are bad.
See, I think I
In the
picked the
American
Pirates to
League,
win a wild card this year.
yes, you did.
Man,
But I picked the Red Sox to win the Yankees division. So the only team that's really god awful in the American League is the White Sox. I think the Angels are pretty bad, but they're not as bad as those other
they're
teams in the
they're
National League.
overperforming, right? Aren't they? At
Yeah, I
12
don't
and
know about
17.
all,
So they're-
but and the Orioles are well underperforming, but I think that that's a different issue. But
I don't
I
agree
think
that I don't think isn't their manager under a long-term contract? Don't they have him like on for? Then they signed him recently for a couple of years.
I don't know. They made
So
the
I
play
think that
2 years in a row for the first time since forever. So I think that the Orioles, I think they're in the situation. Hyde's been there, I think, 7 years. So I think they're in the situation they might need a different voice. But I also think that they're running into something that the Yankees ran into with the Sanchez Torres problems, which is these guys are not as good as you thought. Now, I do believe catching is tough. I'm a little biased as a former catcher, but catching is tough. And I think
you
Rutschman
mean being a good
is
catcher
getting
is
beat up. He's a very, very good catcher, but I don't think any catchers have the longevity to be as good as they are. Like, I think Rutschman's going to be a great catcher and an all-star, but I think he's going to
and hitting
not
more.
be a 300
Stop hitting more.
hitter. Right. He's not going to be a 300 hitter. He's not going to be the offensive force that they thought. I don't. I think the Mets already see this with their catcher getting hurt, Alvarez, and the other guys. I think Sanchez got worse over time, but I think he got beat up. I do think there's other issues with him. I think that Wells is, playing an awful lot, and I think he's a little physically beat up. And I think the catching position on an offensive side of things is not going to be good. Now, I don't think Trevino is going to continue to hit 320 for the Reds, but that's a different story. But
So
In the American League, the question becomes, what do the Yankees need? But what do they really have to have? Because there's two
oh,
things. There's two questions there. Do they need? Would they be better off if they had a real leadoff hitter and a real third baseman? Yes,
yeah.
but right now, if you look at the team, and if you take out the fact that Cabrera made 3 errors in one game, right? He made 3 errors in one game. Other than that, he's only made 2 errors. But it seems a little odd. Or 3 errors. Sorry, he's made 3 other errors.
Who is this?
So
Sorry.
Cabrera at third base for the Yankees from a defensive.
I'm sorry. They've got the best first baseman in the American League playing over there. He saves those guys more errors. I'm watching my eye test sees that he makes a lot of very bad throws. That he's always pulling Goldie off the bag, and he overthrows. Um, he doesn't seem to have a real command of his arm. It's a very strong arm, but it's not. He doesn't have a lot of command of it. I don't love it. Listen, he is what he is. This is what they have. They decided to go bargain basement. They're stuck with them both. Neither of them are any good, but
Right.
they're
Oh,
okay.
like I said, he's made 5 errors, not 6 errors over the course of the season. Do you
It's
know
kind of
who's
a
made the
lot
most?
in 30 games. How many
You
games has
know,
he played?
he's played 24 games, and he's
And
made
let's see,
five
what's his
errors.
fielding?
His
And what's his
fielding
field?
percentage is only 907, but he's pretty much league, you know, over replacement at a zero. What's funny to me is the two guys who are making the most errors, although they make more plays than he does because they played 30 and 31 games, are two guys who are very, very good fielders. Eugenio Suarez in Arizona and Bregman for the Red Sox. Machado's the next guy that's made more errors, the same amount of errors as him, as is Louis Renfino from the Angels, who's played a lot less than him and has a lower fielding percentage. But if you take all around what our friend Cabrera has done this season, right?
Hmm.
He is a 107 OPS plus player. Is he a power hitter? No. Is he an on base guy? Well, he's at 364. That's pretty damn good. And what's funny is his slugging is lower than his on base. So, from an offensive perspective, he's actually been not bad, much better than we thought. And as you know, and I know, they are waiting for somebody who's getting, as we called it earlier today, prophylactic cortisone shots to come back and be the right-handed third baseman.
Hmm.
So, from a third base perspective, do I think they could do better or should do better? Yes. But do I think that they have bigger holes? Yes. Do I think Dominguez needs to be better? Yes. In left, especially right-handed, he needs to be better. And do I think Grisham is playing well above his head? Absolutely. But Bellinger is playing below his head, way below his head. And I think if the two of them come back to where they were, the back of the baseball card, as Michael Kay says, I think they'll be fine offensively with their outfielders.
Hmm.
And I think, Dominguez actually, I agree with you. I've watched his swings the last couple of games right-handed, and it's really not good. There's something
It's not
different
good.
about it.
He
It's different about it.
slashes.
He's like, this is
Yeah,
like
and
this.
they got a really good. They talked about it with I think the Yankees. I got to tell you, Cone and I know that they're I know um, that Girardi has a personality of like a toilet seat,
I
but
disagree.
I
When we met him, he was great.
I love these guys together. I think they're so
I agree.
good. Uh, it's
You know what I thought was
analysis.
best? And listen, like, how I feel with Michael Kay and Flaherty. I can barely listen. But Michael Kay sat back and let Cohn and Girardi really just talk. And he did a
So
great job
great
at three-man booth. And, it was really good. Girardi was really, really good.
because
And
you're
they
right.
talked
Because
about,
Case don't let them be the two guys. They let them be the battery, and you don't
right.
have that. That's really amazing. The two of them can talk you through the game the way these guys are thinking in a way that you just don't get. And I loved listening to them last. I don't like when
I
they
thought they were great. I
not
thought they were great in this series. This
yeah,
homestand, they
I'm
were
not
very.
as big a fan of as much as I like O'Neill. I just wish O'Neill would stop playing the dummy all the time. Like O'Neill
Yeah.
has this thing where he likes to act like he's stupid, and I don't get that. Like he'll say the other day, he goes, "I would have loved to see you matriculate," and he said, "Well, tell me how to spell that first, and maybe I'll go look it up and find out what you're
He's
talking
becoming
about."
a caricature. He's becoming a caricature, and that's
He's a
the worst thing
Rizzuto.
that can happen. That's
I
the
know.
worst thing that can happen to an announcer, because that's the type of thing that really, well, from my perspective, again, this is my personal opinion. These guys become caricatures of themselves.
Yeah.
Even Chris Berman became a caricature of himself. John Miller, caricature of himself. These guys are just, they become more shtick than they are actually announcing. John Sterling became more shtick. Phil Rizzuto became more shtick. Of course, Phil Rizzuto and John Sterling were our shtick, but
Yeah.
it's not the transition period to becoming over the top shtick is just awful.
You can't
Um,
listen to the new guy, can you? You're out there, right? So you can't. Do you ever listen to him online?
who?
The
David
radio
Sims?
guys,
I
Dave
love
Sims.
David.
Apparently, yeah, but people are saying he's terrible.
They're wrong.
I
They're
haven't
wrong.
heard him yet. I haven't
I
heard
think
him
he's
yet.
terrific. The thing I don't like about him is he's letting Susan talk too much.
Yeah, that bothers me. The one time I did listen, it was entirely too much of her. Doing her. I mean, she knows. It's amazing. You're doing this for 28 years, and you still have no feel for the game. I mean, it amazes me. How do you
Yeah,
do
I wish.
this for
So
that long?
The New York Rangers, the hockey team, just so you know, Adam, since you're not any sport besides baseball.
You love to
Sam
point
Rosen
that
was
out.
Sam Rosen.
Right.
Well, that's good. That's what makes you so good on this show.
Oh,
Anyhow,
wow, a compliment. How rare.
Sam Rosen was with the Rangers for 40 years, and he retired. And guess what? His partner in crime for the last 21 years, I think it was, has been Joe Micheletti. Joe Micheletti let Sam Rosen have the entire season and this, that, and the other thing. Joe Micheletti announced today that he is also retiring. Susan should have done the same thing. She should have walked away with Sterling.
Absolutely. She's got to go. I mean, she's horrible. It's like I say, it's like listening to my bubby. Like I don't want to hear Bubby. I really don't want to hear Bubby
I,
Bertha.
I,
You
I
know,
didn't know you. I didn't
talking
know your
about
Bubby was from
baseball.
Boston. Your Bubby is
It's
from Boston.
horrible.
I have
Oh
news for you.
yeah, John,
My grandmother
John.
knew more about baseball than Susan. That's baseball, Susan.
John.
Um, but it's just ridiculous. But I like Sims. I mean, I have a bias towards him from back when he was on FAN when it first came on the air.
Yeah,
So, he was the morning
I haven't
host.
listened to him. All right, so back to this topic at hand.
So
Um,
So what do they really need? And you hit it right away in the beginning. You said 40% of their starting rotation is given them next to nothing. Um, Obviously, 40% has given them a lot. Fried and Rodon, there's no question until
Oh, well,
somebody
all
gets
right. How about Rodon? We haven't talked. I got to tell you, the guy really is coming. He's really. Is he playing for a contract? Did something happen that we don't know about? Because he turned on. He's in another place now. He's picked up. I don't know what it is. Another gear. Something happened, but he is
he
throwing
has
beautiful
a hiccup. He has a hiccup in the second or third inning every game, but
every game.
most games he's worked through it in most games this year. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a good thing. He used to not be able to do that. There was I'm sure as soon as he has a bad game, guys are going to jump on him because, God forbid somebody has a bad game. And then, of course, Fried is out of control. And Schmidt gets an incomplete, right? You
Mm-hmm.
give Rodon an A, you give Fried an A plus, you give Schmidt an incomplete, and you give Carrasco and Warren and Stroman D's and F's. So the question becomes, is that the big weakness? And I think it is. Yeah,
Yep. And they need to make a
Louis Hill's
change.
gonna come back whenever he comes back, right? So Hill's gonna come back. So let's assume Hill comes
But
back.
Hill's going to come back and he'll be 80% for about a month. Will he be
That's
ready to play? Does he second half? He's fine. But you've lost 20 starts. That's a lot of
yeah.
baseball. You know, that's a lot of Carlos Carrasco. And I just don't understand. They don't have somebody in the minors, and this is what bothers me. This is a numbers game right now. They don't want to dump him because they know he'll leave. If he goes, they'll have to DFA him, and he'll get picked up somewhere else. And they don't want to lose him, so they're leaving him in there now. Basically, to spite himself, he is not a starting pitcher. And what I don't like about him is that it seems to happen all the time. It's always around this. They seem to get through the first couple innings okay, and then they start to unravel. It's like the minute they get to the second, third spin, they're not able to do it. But what bothers me here is there are guys in the minors that probably could help them a little bit more right now. And I don't know if the reason they're not bringing them up is because they're afraid of losing this guy. And listen, I'm also okay, and I'm telling you now, I'm okay with Warren because I think that he's a work in progress, and maybe as a fifth starter, I just don't like him as a number four. I don't like him as a number four. It's too important on this team. He needs to be a number five. So right now, I'm okay with him being there because let him learn on the job. He's got something that everyone seems to like, and you know, he's got that. He seems to have a. Is that a changeup? Is that his pitch? What does he throw that's so good?
Slider
Warren.
and a fast
Is it?
slider and a
Is
fast.
it, so it's not a changeup.
No, he's got
So
to change it. I'll do, but I mean the Yankees, from a prospect perspective, they really. I mean, the guys are going to have to jump from Double A. They have no Triple A starting pitching. They have everybody's favorite Chase Hampton out for the season,
yeah,
and Brock Selvage, who
good
is a
name.
left.
A great baseball name.
Yeah,
All right.
he's a lefty
So
and he's only 22. So that's a guy that's potentially the guy that they can, bring up. He's in Somerset. He hasn't done anything
people
this
make
year.
the jump. People make the double A to
Guys make it
majors
from
jump.
Double A to majors all the time, mostly hitters though. But they're talking. They got Cam Schlittler. You got
Yeah,
to be
I hear a
careful
lot
how you
about
say
this
that.
guy. He looked good. They had him. He seemed to pitch every day in spring training.
Yeah,
So they must like him.
right.
And
And Clayton Beater,
any word on Clinton Beater? Is Clayton Beater like?
he's not a starter. But they have this other guy, Brock Beck. Is that it? Or Ben Hess? What's his name? I forgot the guy's
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
They
Ben
got him.
Hess was like last year.
He's
Wasn't Ben Hess
Yeah, but
their
he's only in
number
high
one?
A ball. He's only in high A ball. But there's another guy that they have that's
Why do the
um,
Yankees send college pitchers to high A? Why don't they move them up to double A?
I
Isn't
don't know.
isn't the fact? See, what amazes me is let's talk about this a little bit because it pisses me off about Judge. I think Judge missed a couple of years of his career because they made him go through this slow dirge to the major leagues, and he didn't make it. He didn't come in until he was in his late 24 season. So you
Well,
got to think.
you got to remember, Judge spent 4 years in college. He didn't come out of college until he was, 22,
But that's my
23.
point. these guys are come. These college guys need to be fast tracked a little bit more because they're putting these guys in. You get a 27-year-old rookie. I mean, do we really want that? How about 20? How about a 20? How about fast tracking some of these guys? I remember when they did that a few years
It
ago.
seems, I mean, it seems to me it's hard to argue with how the Yankees handled Aaron Judge. I mean, how could you
Well,
argue? I mean, look how it's worked out. You can't, you know what I mean? If
I
you,
wonder though if he missed a year or two in the major leagues because they really were conservative with him. Like they wanted him to find to find his skill, which is great. Except that's what you expect from a guy coming out of high school, or not a 4 year
well, let's
graduate.
let's put it this way. So Judge left Fresno State at age 21 and went right to Tampa, right? Then he went from
Yeah,
Tampa, which was high A, to Charleston. And then he went to Scranton, and he went back and forth between Scranton and Trenton. But in reality, Judge only spent 14, 15, and part of 16 in the minor leagues. That's it. He didn't spend much time in the minor leagues. He spent less than 3 seasons. As a matter of fact, in 16, he came up for 27 games and got hurt. Right. So, I mean, he was up in
yeah,
16.
you're right.
So,
I
from
stand
Judge's
corrected.
perspective, but he did come out. He wasn't 22. He was 22 when he got, to the minor leagues. So, I don't disagree with you that some of these guys need to be fast tracked. Like I'd like to see them fast track Lombard Jr. and Arias to see what they have, because
I think they think that is a reason to believe that Lombard Jr. could actually could contribute this year. I mean, is
I
he
don't.
that? Why don't they think he's
He's only
ready?
at high. He's only at high A ball.
But they've got a lot of guys that. But this is what I mean. Don't you think they should give him a boost? How's he doing? He's doing great. I
He's
heard he
hitting
was hitting 300.
309 with a 500 on base percentage.
So, how about Double A? What are they waiting for? Better weather? What? They don't think he's going to like it up here?
He's got 19
Well, no, he's in
strikeouts,
whatchamacallit.
11
He's in the
walks.
Renegades, right? He's with the
He's in Hudson
Renegades
Valley.
now.
Yeah, he's 19 strikeouts in 21 games, and 68 at bats. So he's striking out more than a quarter of the time, but he's also walking. I mean, he's got a 500 on base percentage. I mean, come on, you got to give the guy
Uh,
something there. But
yeah,
yeah, but what do the Yankees need? Really, what they need is, I think, a starting pitcher. And we were going to talk about everybody's favorite guy who changed the way he spells his name. And that's Alcantara, Sandy
yeah.
Alcantara,
Now,
the player formerly known as Sandy Alcantara. And
all
like
right,
we
so
said,
we've got a rough decision coming up. Let's frame the point here. That I haven't heard the Yankees discuss this yet. I haven't heard the media discuss this yet. Um, but I'm sure the Yankees are talking about this. What are they gonna do when Stanton comes back and his 30% strikeout rate and his plugging up the bases and his no defense? But his $30 million is going to justify the home runs that he's going to hit and all the strikeouts and all the plugging up of the bases and the lack of flexibility. They're going to blow because of that. They have a problem. They got to make a tough call on what are they going to do. What are they going to do with our boy at our current DH? What are they going to do
well,
with
I mean,
Rice?
to be honest with you, DJ is going to be a problem. Although
Oh,
they, they're just going to cut
but he had
Reyes.
another
I mean,
course.
Reyes is gone, right? Reyes is
You know what?
gone.
You know what? My back hurts. I think I'm gonna go get a cortisone shot. I'll be right back. Give me 5 minutes. Hold on. Hold on.
I thought your back doesn't hurt anymore, so you're just getting a prophylactic.
Oh,
Um,
oh.
DJ is a bigger
I feel
problem to
like
me
it's
because
gonna
it's
hurt
more
on
immediate.
on Saturday. Hmm?
Yeah, I think he's going to get hurt again. But also think the Yankees, with
He's already
regard
hurt.
to
That's why he's getting a cortisone shot.
with
He's
regard to
already
Stanton,
hurt.
they're going to slow roll Stanton, and we all know it takes him a month once he comes back to actually get better. And they're going to say, "Oh, he was working out with the new pitching machine that imitates other pitchers, and it's just as good as rehab games. So we're not going to
Yeah,
send
yeah,
him
yeah,
down to the minors." And that's
yeah, yeah.
not
He
reality.
needs a spring training. He needs a whole spring training.
He needs
All right.
more than that.
So
But with Rice, to be honest with you, I still am not sold on him. I don't.
really,
Yeah, I think I'm sold on
I
him as a
can't.
platoon. I'm sold on him as a platoon player right now. He doesn't.
I
I mean, yes,
I can't.
he hits lefties. He hits lefties better than than Dominguez, but that's not really saying anything.
All right.
Uh,
So you got to understand. Do you know that he's top 5% in he's his barrel percentage is top 2%. His hard hit percentage is top 2%. His exit velocity is top 3%. The guy is absolute all the metrics that show a great ball player that make great baseball players
yeah,
are in his favor right now. If it is and it is an extended period of time, it's 100 at bats now. Um, he's not he's not he's not messing around. I'm sorry, 110 plate appearances, 94 at bats. The guy is nails. I love him. I think he's great. He's everything that I thought he's better than I thought he'd be. You know, the home runs, the ball just just hops off his bat. And I
Adam,
think he's what?
he's hitting 138 against left-handed pitching.
All right, so that's going to be that's his thing.
He's 4 for 29. He's had 31 plate appearances and 11 strikeouts, so he's striking out a third of the time.
All right, so the answer is obvious. That platoon with Stanton. Because
That's why I said
right.
I am sold on him as a platoon player. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Do I think he deserves to get more shots against left-handed pitching? Absolutely. Absolutely think he does.
Yeah.
I do, but I think Dominguez does as well. I think you got to get these guys up, especially if they're winning, which they sort of are.
Well, the
You
deal
need
with Dominguez that bothers me is that Dominguez probably can bat left-handed against these guys. So why don't they see if he can bat lefty? He hasn't really had an opportunity to do that. They say he's historically bad against left-handed pitchers, but he's never had a bat.
Well,
how many bats has he taken?
He's actually not historically bad. He's gotten worse. He was okay against left-handed pitching when he got to the Yankees and when he's going through the low minors. He's gotten worse each year, but then again, the pitching gets better each year. Yeah. So it's the other half of it. So
all right. So here's the idea. Back to the idea.
I think Rice definitely deserves to be platooned. I don't think the Yankees are going to do it because it's Stanton.
All right.
That's the challenge.
So Stanton is going to be there. Do the Yankees sell high on Rice right now? Does he have enough buzz around the league to get traded for Alcantara? And do you do it? Who says no?
The Miami says no for Alcantara because
it won't be him alone.
It's not going to be him alone. I mean, I was looking at some of the trades with regard to the starting pitching, and some of the trades are out of control that people gave up. I mean, the Astros gave up a very high prospect, right-handed pitcher, one of their better outfield prospects, and their second base prospect, Will Wagner, to get Kikuchi last year for a rental. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous. That's more, for Luzardo, who is not going to fetch nearly as much as what Alcantara is going to get. The Phillies got Luzardo and some catcher outfielder named Paul McIntosh Apple, and they gave up their number 4 prospect and their number 23 prospect, who were all higher rated prospects than any Yankee prospect except for Lombard Jr. So it's, that's who they gave up for Luzardo, who is also not signed for 2 more seasons. The Padres are not going to trade Dylan Cease. He's a guy that could be traded. Sonny Gray, the Yankees want no part of, right? So, I mean, there's not a lot of.
What about Michael King?
That's it. I don't think the Padres are trading anybody. I think the Padres are not trading.
Padres are in. They think they can win a wild card.
I think that they not only think they're going to win a wild card, the more the Giants play against better teams, the more the Padres are like, oh, they're fakers.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that. And how many times have the here's a question. How many times has the what did I do? I had the league stats up. How many times have has Colorado played the Western Division so far?
They've played the Western Division much more than the Giants have.
So they are now. Let's take a look at that. So they are now against the. Wow, they're 2-19. Wait a minute. Is that? I hate this. No. Divisions. They don't show it.
What are you looking for? Division
I'm looking
record?
for a play against your division.
You want to know play against the division?
Yeah. How has
Well, let's just say they're 4-11 at home and 1-14 away, with
it
a
can't
negative
be good.
with a negative 77 run differential.
Wow, that's historically bad. They're on
It's
pace. That's like they're on pace for probably negative 500 at
yeah,
this point, right? That's
yeah.
on pace for negative 500. I mean, that's 173 runs. By comparison, the Yankees have given up 125. Anybody's really done well right now. The ones who are the Mets are the best right now in majors. That's just right. No,
And,
that's not true. The
and they
Padres.
didn't and they didn't sweep the Rockies Mets when they played them.
What happened? The Mets lost a couple of games in the last couple of days, right?
Yeah.
But,
So let me tell you this. You ready? When the Red Sox got Garrett Crochet,
yeah.
they gave up Kyle Teal, the number 25 overall prospect in baseball. Braden Montgomery, the number 54 overall prospect in baseball.
Wow.
Wilkerman Gonzalez, which was their 14th prospect, again rated higher than any Yankee prospect except for Lombard Jr., and their number 11 prospect, an infielder named Chase Medroth. And that was for Garrett Crochet as a rental.
Schleprock?
So they got
Yeah, but
Crochet
they
as a
signed him
rental,
long
gave
term,
up.
so that was a good deal. They
But
signed
then
him.
they signed him long term, but when they traded for him, he was a rental.
They must have known something was up. They probably
Right. So
it wasn't
Alcantara's got
Scott
2 years.
Boras.
Alcantara's got 2 years plus the rest of this season. But then again, he stinks right now. I mean, he literally is bad right
They're
now.
not going to they're not going to make that deal when he stinks. They're not going to have another. They're not going to have another. What's his name? It was the guy from the A's they got. The
Sonny
Mets.
Gray.
Hmm?
Oh, Montas.
They're not going to have another Montas. No more injured players. But hey, I gotta go.
All right.
It's 8:01. Gotta
It's
run.
my bedtime.
It's
I
bedtime.
will speak to you soon.
All right.
And
Be well,
have
my
a good day.
friend.
All right. You have a nice life.
All right. You
And
too.
good
Bye
luck in
bye.
prison. Bye bye.